I'm starting to like our pre-shows more and more, I think. So unfortunately for the Leo crowd,
Gee, I wonder why.
yeah.
Just dropping value. Hey,
the cat is dropping value.
It's too early. I need more listeners before I say this. Tune in, everyone.
Tune in. Why do I feel like I have the wrong
tell everyone, tell Cal that he needs to show appreciation to the cat.
Grease the cat.
I gotta find the clip from Too Fast, Too Furious with Ludacris holding up the money that Brian O'Connor gives him when he says, "See this? Mutual respect." Because he invited him to the race that he won the money at. He got him in.
That movie. I gotta watch
movie.
that. Yeah, I gotta watch that.
That's I don't know if it's my favorite in the series, but it might be.
It's definitely up there. Tokyo Drift is good.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Fast Five. Fast Five was great.
I think Fast Five is up there for me.
It's action packed and it's like a little bit over the top, but still like, you know, somewhat realistic. And then like I think 6 was sort of normal, and then after that they just became superhero movies, and I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like after 6, it just got retarded, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Now I just like, I'll watch them just because I'm like, well, you know, I've seen them all, so I got to keep the streak going.
Yeah, no, you're like in so deep, you got to keep going.
Yeah, but the last 2, I don't even know that I loved. But yeah, I think after 6, I was kind of just like, meh.
Yeah. Well, supposedly the last one is about to come out, and then they're done.
Yeah, allegedly.
What, Fast 10 or Fast 11? I don't even know.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like 10 was like a 2-parter or something.
Yeah. All right, I figured out why the third cast wasn't working.
Bro, what? People don't answer questions. The weather's suspect. So usually I was supposed to go play ball in a bit, which is why I dip. But the weather's a little suspect.
Yeah, that's been it's been how things are lately.
And I'm waiting to hear back.
Can't really predict it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back if the guys are going or not, because it's crazy. Like they go so early, so we meet up dumb early. But anywho, all right, let me get to the Threadcast.
Yeah, I see a Mod Manga listening on YouTube. Welcome. He's also said when we were pre-showing, but technically, like Mitch said, if you don't follow the time change, we are on time.
There you go.
Wananda said the feedback on Rafiki Vote and Hive Pro got resolved. Yep. Yeah, thanks for reporting that. Kind of an interesting mobile bug, but yeah, the which I guess is a good opportunity for me to say that I keep mentioning this on Threads, but we're now in Rafiki is being used for a lot of things, but probably the most important thing, and you guys know this going back to the beginning of Leo, we operate on the feedback loop. So, more feedback has always been what we wanted, because when you give feedback, we can fix things. Like I'm a big believer in the feedback loop. And that has gotten exponentially more important now that we have Rafiki in the loop, because what happens is you submit feedback and Rafiki immediately picks up that feedback. And then autonomously, he can either, depending on what kind of feedback it is, like for example, Wananda's keychain bug, that was autonomously fixed by Rafiki. So Wananda reported, Rafiki saw it. Rafiki said, oh, I know how to fix this. Submitted a pull request with the fix in the code base. And then all we had to do was review it, make sure it works, test it, and then we rolled it out. So the feedback loop is now even more important than it ever was before. So all I can say, and I keep trying to say it on Threads, is like, in terms of the pace of development, you guys are pretty much in the driver's seat. The more feedback you give, whether it's new features that you want to request or things that you want to report that are broken, the faster you give feedback, the faster we can develop, because Rafiki's in that loop directly, and it's pretty much entirely automated now. And AI has gotten to this like very incredible kind of pivotal moment where now, with Rafiki code like being tapped directly into the feedback, I would say like 80 to 90% of things get automatically fixed or updated, or features, get added without any human in the loop. The human only comes into the loop at the end in order to, like test, fix, if there's any surrounding issues, make sure those are handled, and then get things basically to get things production ready and then roll them out. That's really where the human comes into the loop. So, we've been increasing the amount of autonomy that Rafiki has, and he's gotten to a point of like very high autonomy. Really the only higher level than this would be if we completely remove the human from the loop and Rafiki did his own production, rollouts, which, we already added the ability for him to do end-to-end testing at the end of anything that he does. But I think having a human in the loop at the very end of the process is still a good thing to have. It's like checks and balances, and a lot of the times it takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes to review a pull request that Rafiki's done, depending on how big the feature is or bug fix. So, you're talking about 5 to 10 minutes of human in the loop interaction, and then something's rolled out like what Wananda reported. So whether it's a feature request or a bug fix, just make as much feedback as you can. You can give us feedback on threads. We've also added feedback modules to all of the different applications. So if I go to, I'll just share my screen. Why not? Where am I at here? So if I share my screen on Hive Pro, you can see at the bottom here, actually it's a little cut off, but you get the point. Or maybe I can zoom out. No, it doesn't work. You point in the bottom here, you can see the Hive Pro support. You can ask Rafiki or send feedback. So you can send bugs, feature requests, general feedback. You can also chat with Rafiki directly in here. So, this same module we've created. Actually, Rafiki created this, which is ironic. There's a standard of what we utilize all of this for. In terms of the feedback. So now all of that is like standardized and the same type of feedback module. So now I switched over to Hive, the Hive-based voting for Rafiki. So we call it Rafiki Vote. You can see feedback in the bottom left, and you can see that it looks pretty identical to the one on Hive Pro. So we have kind of like this standardized framework for feedback, and this will be on all of the applications that we build from now on. Where you can just directly type any feedback, and it'll like include a screenshot and your console logs. So if there's a bug, it'll like automatically include a lot of the important information. Or if you have like a feature request and other things like that, you just type them in here and they get sent directly to Rafiki. So that's one way to give feedback. And then obviously you can also use threads or Discord to give feedback to Rafiki directly. So just give more feedback, I guess, is my PSA of the day.
Feed the machine.
Feed the machine.
I'm looking at the AMA title. What is LeoKit Agentic Trading NCP? What does that mean? What's that mean?
I don't even think Mitch caught this one. Yeah.
Nobody knows. No one knows what it means. Gets the people.
This is
provocative.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully this one gets the agents going. This one is so if you don't know what LeoKit is, let's start there.
Your AI can now trade crypto. What does that mean? It can trade crypto for me?
Yeah. So starting with LeoKit. Yeah, no, it can. So LeoKit is basically an SDK and an API where any application, wallet, etc., can add cross-chain protocols. So Thorchain, Neurintense, Chainflip, Maya, Relay, and we've got like 107 dexes supported on LeoKit. So that's basically what. Look at that. I can't read it because it's flipped.
Oh, it's flipped. That sucks. It says I might look like I'm listening to you, but in my head I'm trading crypto.
That's really funny. That's a great mug. I like that.
I will sell it to you, sir, for $1,000.
$1,000 worth of Leo.
There you go.
So LeoKit is basically just a simple API or SDK where you can integrate cross-chain swaps. So we have a dashboard. There's people integrating it, and then apps and wallets can have cross-chain swaps added. Very very easily. They can set their own fees and all of that. So that's what the LeoKit main is. Then we built the LeoKit MCP, which if you don't know what MCP is, it stands for Model Context Protocol. In simple terms, it's basically an API for AI agents, right? So it's their preferred method of connecting to things. So you can give your AI agent access to 30 plus blockchains and 20,000 plus tokens. So basically what it is it's LeoKit, but for your AI agent. So all you need to do is literally you can click this and you just copy this and give it to your AI agent. And any like intelligent agent model will be able to easily add it from there, like Claude and other ones like that. But you can see an example here. Once you've given your agent, access to this, you literally can just say swap ETH to USDC on the best route. And it's basically like using LeoDex, but directly with your AI agent. So then it'll pull the quotes from LeoKit. It'll tell you which, I know this keeps like rotating. I actually think I can pause it. Hold on. So here you can see it gets the quote for half an ETH to USDC. So it's using LeoKit to get the quote. Thorchain offers the best rate for 1,247 USDC for half an ETH with just 62 cents in fees. Do you want me to generate the unsigned transaction? Then you can say, yes, go with Thorchain. And then it will give you the unsigned transaction that you can then sign in your wallet. So what's important here is you can obviously do it like this, where you then sign the transaction, or you can actually give your agent a crypto wallet, which a lot of people are starting to do. You give it its own crypto wallet. And then when you ask it to do this, it can say, do you want me to swap using my wallet? And then it will swap using its own wallet. So there's a lot of cool integrations you can do with this. Like this is like very the high level basic of what you can do. But these are the 5 different tool calls. So you can get quotes, you can create the deposit, you can check status on swaps, you can just look at all the different assets that are supported, or you can check wallet balances on really every single blockchain out there.
How does that work though? Like, let's say I connect, like, let's say I dedicate like a MetaMask wallet, right? How does it like it'll literally like approve the transactions itself and shit?
Yeah, it'll do everything. As long as it has the private key for that wallet, yeah, it can do anything.
Awesome and scary at the same time.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So I could basically connect, like I could have, let's just say like a dedicated MetaMask wallet that connects to LeoDex that the agent will trade out of based on whatever parameters that I give it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn, I might have to set this up.
No, yeah. I mean, it's literally go to this page, this leokit.dev/MCP, and just copy this and give it to your AI agent. Or you can do, we built this too. So you can actually scroll down here to the setup. You just go here and go to magic prompt. You can literally just copy this. It's just a prompt that tells your agent exactly what to do. So it'll say, and this is for Claude code, but it'll say, find my Claude desktop config, add the LeoKit MCP server, replace the API key with the real key from LeoKit for the API, restart Claude to apply the changes, and then test by asking me to list all the tools.
Okay, so step 1 is I need my own agent first.
No, you already have one because you've got if you've got Claude desktop or you're using Claude or anything like that, you could just literally paste this in.
Interesting. Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, where I think this gets really interesting is that it gives you these 5 tools, but what you do, and this is where AI agents like OpenClaw and things like that have gotten so interesting. These are 5 like very like fundamental tools. When you give an agent these tools, and then ask it to come up with use cases, that's where things actually get really exciting. So we actually fed this to Rafiki, and this is something I've just literally was working on last night. So this is technically live if you want to go test it and play with it. But we actually gave this to Rafiki, and Rafiki can now trade on your behalf. So Rafiki, if you don't want to launch your own AI agent, you can now use Rafiki as your AI agent, which is kind of like the vision of Rafiki, is that he's like the Leo community's open AI agent. Like anybody can use him for all sorts of different things. His feature set is like massive. It literally just keeps growing every single day. So we recently just added the ability for Rafiki to trade on your behalf. So you can ask Rafiki to do things like limit orders, DCA orders, all sorts of things. This is live for Hive Engine right now, and then I think later today the LeoKit one will be working, which means you can literally have Rafiki trade any asset for you. So you give Rafiki access to. Go ahead.
When you say DCA, like you would literally say like anytime Bitcoin drops X amount percentage by X percentage.
Yeah, exactly. And you can use natural language, or you can do time based.
That's cool. Well, no, because like think about it. How many times do you unless you have limit orders sitting out there, like how many times are you away from your machine where all of a sudden we get that crazy magic dump, right? Bitcoin goes down, whatever it is, 5+% in one day. A lot of times only to recover, sometimes same day, right? So it's just like if you have a thing in there like, oh, Bitcoin down 5% in any 24-hour period by X amount, right?
Yeah.
Just so at least at a minimum you're grabbing that. So
Yep.
I don't know if at that point you can. Then after that, you're probably getting more into like the prior, with your own agent, because then if you want to follow up on that, it's like then when you buy, setting something where it will sell that amount that you bought is probably a little more advanced. But
yeah, so
cool,
this is how we built and actually Rafiki came up with a lot of these ideas, and then I've been kind of working. This one's one where I need to have my hands in the cookie jar, but this is a bare bones website. We haven't done like we haven't done any like UI design for this yet. It's more functionality right now. But you can actually already go and do all of this. So basically the way it works is you deposit with Rafiki, and then Rafiki trades from your deposit. So you keep some amount of fun, and obviously this introduces risk, so do this at your own risk. You deposit some amount of crypto with Rafiki, and then he trades on your behalf based on whatever rules you give him. And then you can withdraw whenever you want to take out what you've given him. So I'm just testing with swap.hive right now, but you can deposit swap.hive. I have 24 here, and then you can withdraw from that balance whenever you want. And with this balance, this is what Rafiki uses to trade. So for example, I can go to DCA and I can set up a DCA with Rafiki, and I can say, okay, I want you to buy one Leo every single day. There's no budget limit and there's no max execution. I just want you to buy one Leo, or this will buy one Hive worth of Leo every single day. No matter what the price is, it'll just do it every 24 hours. So this is just like a time-based DCA plan. You can set different intervals. So you can do hourly, every 4 hours, every 12, daily, weekly. But what we're going to add are things like what Mitch is talking about, where it's price-based DCA. So let's say, if Leo drops 5% in any given 24-hour period of time, immediately buy one Hive worth of Leo on the open market. And Rafiki will obviously be tracking the price of Leo every single second. And then as soon as that 5% drop happens, he'll use your DCA, he'll execute it and buy you Leo. And that Leo will then land in your trade account. So you go here, that Leo will then land in your portfolio value trade account, and then you can just withdraw it whenever you want. And then Rafiki charges because part of the new direction of things that we're doing is we're looking at like how can we make things profitable, in terms of like, when you build something, there needs to be some sort of like revenue economic factor behind it. I've talked about this before when I said, net economic inflows is, our primary goal. So with a service like this, Rafiki is able to charge for the service that he's performing. So if you are a free user, Rafiki charges 0.5% on every trade. So let's just say you do $1,000 worth of trades, Rafiki's making $50 in, revenue from that. If you're premium, the fee is 50% less. So if you're a Leo premium subscriber, this is now a benefit of being premium. The trade fee is only 0.25%. And Rafiki is going to do the same thing with LeoDex swaps and LeoKit swaps. So you'll be able to swap things on LeoDex and LeoKit, like Bitcoin, ETH, Rune, all the other tokens, literally 20,000 tokens. You can do DCA, you can do limit orders through Rafiki, and he'll charge a percentage of each swap, and that percentage that he charges will be cheaper if you're premium, and then there would be like a baseline if you're a free user. So another use case for going premium. And then while we were building this, I had an idea because a lot of people ask, speaking of premium, they ask, like right now, because it's all on chain, there's no way to auto subscribe and auto renew your premium. So while we were building all this stuff, I was like, well, if Rafiki's already doing trades for you autonomously, why can't he just also subscribe your premium every time it expires? So now we've added this where you can have auto renewal on your premium subscription for Leo Premium. So as long as Rafiki has enough balance, you need to have enough of a balance in your trade account. Rafiki can then subscribe to premium every time yours expires. So he's tracking your premium status. The second it expires, he'll just automatically renew it by sending the HBD to the @LeoPool account. So I think there's a lot of cool like automations that we can add through this. This is kind of like the baseline, and like I said, the UI is not. This is just to test the functionality, but we will build like a nice looking, kind of like Rafiki, the voting UI. We'll build a nice looking UI for this, but it's exciting because I think there's just literally infinite opportunities here, and then Rafiki's actually able to generate revenue for himself, net economic inflows.
Pretty sweet.
Yep.
I like the renewal thing too.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the most highly requested features. So interesting way to solve it.
Yeah. So I got a question that maybe you know the answer to or not, and who knows where we're at. I haven't looked in a while. I mean, obviously, the stats you can look up, but LeoDex, with the fact that, especially with quote unquote bear market, at least in terms of activity, so to speak, over the last few months, what has volume on LeoDex been like? Has that been growing? Has it taken a hit? Like, has there been expansion in terms of even like, I mean, I know there's been announcements about offerings, but just kind of to recap the overall environment of LeoDex in regards to just the crypto swapping side.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see if I can switch this. So LeoDex, like the volume for LeoDex is actually very much tied to volatility. So when the market is not moving, that's where we tend to see, LeoDex volume dropping. Like if Bitcoin's just like sitting at 70K, like that's not actually what we want.
Yeah, like the last 2 weeks, there was no volatility. It was like ridiculous. We had these tiny little green candles over and over and over. And yeah, the volatility was down huge because I mean, even on other swap sites, you'd see that in terms of like the yields they're offering and whatnot. They absolutely nosedive because there's no volatility.
Exactly. And so what LeoDex really wants is up and down, price movement, volatility. That is the best thing, the best case scenario for LeoDex. And what we have seen is that as the market moves, then we start getting these big swaps. Suddenly we'll get 100K, 200K, 300K, even $1 million in a single day gets swapped through LeoDex. So really the primary function is that we need to, we need to have volatility and then obviously get a bigger user base. The more users we have mixed with volatility, you get like that exponential expansion, and then we'll get more volume. So, we've seen that happen across the board, time and time again. So really the focus right now is just get more users. And then obviously we don't control volatility, right? So really what we do control is getting more users. And then when volatility does happen and we have more users, we get more volume. That's kind of like the simple fundamental equation there. And along those lines, we've obviously been doing a lot of things related to marketing and just talking to, other protocols, apps, wallets, doing things like marketing. Like if you guys follow LeoDex on Twitter, obviously, a lot of our marketing is not inward facing, which is what it should be externally facing, which is how it's designed. So if you guys haven't seen the LeoDex posts, I just go to Twitter and you can repost them, you can like them, you can share them. That's how we get more exposure for LeoDex. But we make a lot of like externally facing content. So like we've been making videos, all sorts of X posts. We get involved in various ecosystems. There's also things that we've built like thorvolume.com, which are like feeders into LeoDex. And I have a lot more ideas like that, which we'll start to, especially now with Rafiki, we'll start to kind of roll out a bunch of different feeders that aim to kind of provide a value or like a service to other ecosystems. For example, thorvolume.com. And then at the bottom, it says powered by LeoKit and LeoDex. And then it directly feeds people to LeoDex to swap. So I have a lot of ideas like that we'll keep building. But that marketing side, being over here, the other big thing we've been working on, and that's in the title of this, is LeoDex V2. So V2 is a complete refactor of LeoDex. The UI is vastly improved, in my opinion. You'll notice that, like, I'm actually on it right now. That's why I wanted to show you. It looks very similar, but you can tell it's slightly different, right? So there's some big improvements, in my opinion. Just keep in mind that this is beta, and pretty soon I'm going to need to invite people to test. So if you want to test the new LeoDex, let me know. I'll need to invite some testers to come to the beta site and obviously test all the different routes and everything. We are actually using Rafiki for testing, which is really cool. I can get into that later if you guys want. But the V2 update is not only like a UI improvement, it is like a complete user experience overhaul. So a lot of the bugs and issues that kind of piled up on us in the past can be addressed a lot more easily with LeoDex V2 because Rafiki is built in. So Rafiki, the same feedback loop I've mentioned before, if you experience a bug, you can just hit the feedback icon on the new site and report it, and then we can immediately fix it with Rafiki. So we're going to see a vast improvement in the ability for us to roll out new features, which obviously gets us users because users get excited by new features, right? Like you roll out a new feature, you use that as marketing. That's like a big way to grow in software. Users also get frustrated by bugs. So you don't want to have bugs, especially when it comes to trading. So Rafiki is able to squash those bugs as they come up, immediately. So the V2 refactor is more than just improving the UI. It's also about setting the foundation for us to innovate faster and also innovate better with less bugs. So you'll notice this, like I said, across the board on all the apps we're building now. Rafiki is built in at the base layer of every app we build from now on. So the refactor of LeoDex, has that in mind. So I'll just show you some of the kind of cool UI components. But again, the big improvement here is that we can add new features and fix bugs faster, literally in real time, like the other apps. So this is the new token selector. I'll just kind of show you a few of the UI elements. But we updated the token selector. I think it's just like a lot better of a design. Yeah, and then the wallet section we updated. So just like a cleaner, better design, a lot more functional. You can obviously add like multiple wallets. This is the new wallet selection screen. So a little bit cleaner.
Oh, that's way better.
You like that better?
Yeah.
So yeah, just like, and that's really the goal of the V2. The initial V2 refactor is not like we're just changing everything. Everything's meant to stay pretty much the same, just make it a little better. And then also obviously refactor the foundation to make it better. So it's kind of like redoing the foundations, improving the UI a little bit here and there. But other than that, things are staying pretty much the same.
When is this? When is that going live?
I am hoping to get it live. Well, technically we've got it in beta right now. I'm hoping to get it live in like open beta. I always say this week, but actually sometime this week before Friday. I've told the team that we need to get this thing because we've been sitting on this for a while now. Like we're obviously making like rapid updates, but we just keep making new updates and then not rolling it out to open beta. And I'm a big, you guys know, obviously, that I'm a big fan of like opening things up to beta as soon as possible so that we can start the feedback loop. So I'm hopeful we can get it into open beta this week and then get you guys using it. I'm also going to invite people from the, outside community to come in and test and kind of give their feedback on things so that we can improve. my goal is to get this into production, as soon as possible. I would like in an ideal scenario, I would like to replace LeoDex V1, which is the production, LeoDex.io. I'd like to replace that before the end of March. So that gives us like 2 weeks of open beta testing. If we can get beta live this week, and then get you guys, testing it, get some good feedback, and then replace production by the end of the month, I think that'd be a really solid rollout, timeline. Because again, this is an entirely rebuilt interface. So like it may look a lot like LeoDex V1, but it is like from the ground up rebuilt. It's like a completely different framework, but it's a much better one. Another thing I'll show you is the, let's see if I can do a little live swap here, and I'll show you the new transaction tracker. So let me just approve this. Here's the new transaction tracker. So a lot better in my opinion. And again, like just improving what was already there. So gives you a much better like live look at, because the way it works on production right now, and you can see it already completed. Relay is such a fast swapping protocol. It's insane. But the goal here is like taking V1 and just improving it for V2. So the V1 tracker, if you guys are familiar, just kind of shows you like this really basic, like you sent this, you should receive this, click this button if you want to go track it on the external block explorer. Thanks to LeoKit and being integrated into V2, we now have a built-in tracker. So you don't even need to go to an external transaction tracker if you don't want to. It will show you in real time, each step being completed, and then when it lands back in your wallet. So a much better user experience, in my opinion. Looks a lot cleaner too. So.
Well, the fun question that the Leo Lions obviously care about is with the upgrade, and does that mean the UI is going to be good to go with SLeo and all that? I saw Sheeb ask.
Yeah, it's already live. So
it's already.
It's already live, yeah, and we're just trickling in the rewards so that you'll notice that they are live and accruing. So yeah, it's all live.
It's awesome.
Yep. So if you are asking that question, you must not have gone to the UI.
Lord knows I've not been on the UI
Yeah.
in weeks because I've done no crypto swapping in weeks.
The cat is too busy, but
but
the lion's asking. Yeah. I see the same 5 people that always ask, and I always tell them to go to the UI, and they for some reason don't listen. So
that's funny. That's good to know. Yes, I've done no swapping. I have not been a useful customer.
Got to get the cat to swap.
What have I even done in crypto lately? I think the only thing I've done in crypto in the last like month was I added a little bit to one of my yield pools because it was the only one that was still active because Bitcoin has dropped so much. So
yeah, it is. It's a harsh time in crypto these days.
I mean, well, hold on. I could technically be using the crap out of LeoDex if I could sell HBD, because that is what I've been selling HBD like crazy because I had a bunch of HBD in savings that I wanted to basically get liquid. So I've been slowly selling that on the market to get that liquidity, but it's been a slow burn. So, but obviously that's been internal market. So, and that's a one and done anyway, because once I do, get all that liquid, then I won't have any HBD to swap again.
Yeah, we had once upon a time we had HBD supported, but it wasn't favorable to certain people, so we took it down.
It's all good. It's all good.
But
yeah, so I'll try to think. Yeah, I don't know. I'll gotta think about when I have any swaps.
Yeah, I mean, with the beta, we'll just need, even if you have like 15, 20 bucks, and by the way, like if you want to test beta, I'll just give you like 20 bucks or something, and then you can test, a bunch of different routes. Because we need a lot of testing, and you don't need a lot of money to test. Like it's, you can do very small swaps. So
I'm always down to test, although I will be traveling a crap ton over the next, starting Saturday for like almost 2 weeks. But before then, I'm down.
All right.
Gotta connect. It's been a while. I gotta remember where I put my key store. I remember what folder the thing's in. Trying to little connecty here. That is not what I wanted to do. Come on, key store. This should be it.
Yeah, Lukil, you could trade with as little as $5. It doesn't take much, especially if you're just testing and helping us find bugs and things like that. It really doesn't take a whole lot. Winanda said they claimed some USDC. Yep, a couple people have claimed USDC already. So yeah, it's been live. I haven't really announced it publicly yet because we're still kind of monitoring things, early days, and I kind of got tired of like saying that it was ready and then it wasn't ready and pulling it back. But it's been running, I think, for at least 2 weeks now with no interruptions. So
all right. So now, while I'm live, might as well do like so. I connect my key store, and then it pops up, and then it gives you the skip and connect once or save your key store. Is that save your key store thing even live?
Yeah, it's live.
All right, and then what does that basically do? Like so now, like what does that do for me? Is the question.
Yeah. So there's a few different options on the save your key store part. So you can choose. If you're on a Mac, you can do like Touch ID and things like that, and it uses like the Mac.
Oh yeah, so you have pass keys, and you can hit password.
Right.
Oh, so I can basically create a password, and then I save my key store. So does that mean what? Going forward, then when I go to log into LeoDex, I just put in. What would I do?
You enter the password. So think of it this way. Basically, your keys are still held locally on your machine. But what's happening is if you save a key store with let's just say a password instead of the pass keys, you are setting a extra password that LeoDex can use to request your key store again, like a decryption password. So basically, like decrypts your key store back into LeoDex, and it remembers you. And then if you, for example, because it's all local, so then if you clear your cookies or something for LeoDex, then it won't remember. So like you obviously can like reset it that way very easily. So it's a secure way to basically remember your key store, but then you still need to have some kind of password because you don't want to just have it connect automatically every time.
Yeah. So so it prevents me from having to basically grab my file and drop it in, my key store file, and drop it in every single time I log in.
Exactly. Yeah, you won't have to do that. You won't have to find it or anything. You'll just let me see if I can show you what it looks like.
Pretty cool.
I gotta save a key store really quick on this browser. Here, let me save one. Almost there.
All righty, I am logged in and looking at the things.
So let me disconnect, and then I'll share the screen.
I got reminded to. I'm looking at my asset holdings. I got reminded how little my Rune is worth. Awesome.
Yeah, Rune has.
Now I remember why I haven't logged in.
Yeah, it's rough. So here's what it looks like if you save a key store. So you'll see this Leo auth is an option, and then this is the key store that you saved, and then you do this, and then you just enter the decryption password, and then you don't have to do the. Let me see here. So you can see here. Then I'll enter the decryption password, and then click unlock, and then it will just automatically connect me into that wallet. Might need to give it a second. This is the V1. The V1 UI. Usually it's faster than this, though. I wonder if I
mean,
refresh.
At least I'm still in the top 10 on the S-Leo stakers. So
you're on the new contract, right? I think we walked through that.
Yeah, we did all that.
Yeah, so you're good. So you're seeing earnings, right?
What's up?
So you're seeing earnings coming in, right?
I
Like it's
am. I was hoping to see
yeah,
more earnings.
yeah. Well, you got to grow the volume.
I mean,
Um,
considering I hadn't looked in months, I thought it'd be more earnings than that. Is that the correct number, or
yeah,
is that since everything's been fixed?
that's since everything's been fixed.
Oh, okay. So then, what
Yeah.
happened with the accrual
So
during the time?
it'll keep trickling in. But like I said, we're doing like a very modest, almost like a stipend. There's like a fixed amount that flows into the contract because we're
Okay,
just monitoring and testing, making sure that everything works. So, um, so you'll notice that it kind of like slowly trickles in consistently every day. Even if there's a no volume day on LeoDex, it'll just keep trickling.
got you.
And then as the confidence grows, we'll increase that over time.
So basically, you put me on a payment plan for past wages. I see.
Somewhat, something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I've
as
seen rewards. I can harvest if I want. We got some ham. Tell you what, though, since I last looked, there's some big stakers in the
yeah,
top five.
I've noticed external people buying Leo too and staking it. So
That's cool. There's
yeah,
there's. I mean, we got some some large stakers here. I thought I was a whale. Apparently, I'm not. You got to be in the top five to be a whale. Top three, especially. But yeah, cool. Nah, it looks good. Total value locked. It's a decent little chunk. It's especially considering the price of Leo right now. I mean,
yeah. No,
you
it's
get
it's a
that.
nice. I mean, 7 million Leo is um what is that? 1/4 of the supply.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wait, is that
1/4 of the
right? The
supply.
Leo price on LeoDex, the Leo price says 4.5 cents.
Yeah, I think that's pulling from. I
Because
think
I
it's
always just
using
look at my
average.
wallet on in Leo.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know
I
which
think
one.
that's accurate.
I don't know which one is righter, for lack of a better
Well,
word.
the wallet on Enleo.io is very outdated. So, um,
Oh my God, is that wait on in Leo? It's pulling from CoinGecko.
yeah,
Oh, it's terrible.
Enleo pulls from CoinGecko.
Which is
Um,
showing 3.7 cents right now.
yeah,
Well, that's good to know.
yeah. There's some discrepancies in because we got the cross chain pricing, but yeah, CoinGecko is always behind too. So, but yeah, I think really like one of the cool figures is that 7 million Leo is 1/4 of the Leo supply.
Yes,
So
you got to grow volume so that APY goes up.
yeah, jump that APY. Yeah, I mean the volume, like that's the crazy thing is like if you look at competing apps and LeoDex V2 will be really focused on this. If LeoDex is able to grow to some percentage of what other apps are doing, I think it could be easily a top 10 UI for trading all dexes. That's my end goal is that we are a top 10 like in the realm of like Uniswap level trading volume.
That would be
You know,
legendary.
it would be millions of dollars per month in fee revenue, and let's just say there's still 7 million Leo staked, right? I think that'll probably go up as the volume goes up, but let's just say there's still 7 million Leo staked. If there is $700,000 in fees generated every month by LeoDex, which is actually conservative relative to where the top UIs are doing right now. Like they're doing multiple millions of dollars a month in fee revenue. But let's just say 700,000, right? Which would be reason I picked that is just for easy math. It's 1/10 of the current Leo staked. So that would be 10 cents per Leo staked. So if you had 100,000 Leo staked, you'd be making $10,000 a month in fee income from LeoDex. And if you take the APY of that at the current price, which obviously the current price probably isn't going to last at that, let's see, 10,000. This is going to be a big number. 10,000 times 12, obviously 120,000. But then the value of 100,000 Leo is only $4,000 right now. So you'd be earning $120,000 per year on $4,000 cost basis.
Don't tease me.
So what would that be? 300. That seems low. 333%.
Well, so that leads to a good question for you and the team is
Rafiki, do some math for me. I'm going to ask Rafiki.
Rafiki, give me the answer of how does LeoDex get as big as Uniswap? What's that path? It's like, how did Uniswap do it? Were they just because they were early to the game?
Pretty much.
There's got to be a way to attract that attention. Oh my goodness, it's almost 10 to 2. I got to bounce in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I got all the things to do.
Rafiki, I'm going to ask Rafiki, what would the APY be if a user has 100,000 Leo staked, 7 million total staked, and the fee income is $700,000 per month split amongst stakers? What else do I want to ask? And the current Leo price is 4 cents. Let's see what Rafiki comes up with. Well, Morty, you have a direct impact on that, but only if you want to. And I think most Lions are not doing what they could. You want the volume to grow, you got to get involved. And I see most people just the only involvement that a lot of people have is complaining about things as opposed to doing anything about it. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. You give feedback on LeoDex, you give feedback on different Leo products, you go on Twitter, you go on Reddit, expand the user base of LeoDex and the other, and the other things, and that's how you grow things. But I think a lot of people just tend not to do a whole lot. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Like everybody just wants to skate by, but that's not how Leo works. Here's Rafiki's math. With 100,000 Leo staked out of 7 million total, you'd get 1.43% of the $700,000 a month monthly fee pool, which equals $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year. At 4 cents per Leo, your 100,000 Leo would equal $4,000 worth of stake, which means that the APY would be 3,000%. You'd be earning $120,000 a year on $4,000. And even Rafiki said sustained $700,000 a month volume would likely drive Leo price higher, compressing the APY over time. Now let's ask him a fun follow-up question. Give me a bull, bear, and base case. Let's see what Rafiki comes up with. And by the way, now you can use Rafiki to trade. So maybe you could say, hey, Rafiki, when the volume of LeoDex goes up 10%, buy 100 Leo. Now you'll be able to do that.
Automation.
A lot of automation. Well, that's a big improvement in that any business can make right now, is automating a lot of things that were bottlenecks in the business. So that's what I've been doing with a lot of Leo things, is looking at what we're doing and what we're spending manual labor time on, and figuring out how we can automate those things. So let me, before I read Rafiki's response, one of the interesting things that I've wanted to bring back is LPUD, so Leo Power Up Day, which is the 15th of every month. But obviously, we used to have team members that their sole job was literally to run LPUD. But then I was talking with Rafiki and I said, hey, what if you ran LPUD? And Rafiki came up with a whole design for it. So I think on April 8th, he will be releasing his first LPUD announcement, and it'll be completely ran by Rafiki. It'll look pretty much the same as LPUDs used to look, but it'll be completely run by Rafiki. He'll make the blog posts and the threads. It's pretty cool. So that is,
Nice.
that will be live as of April 8th.
That is the first step of Skynet taking over.
We're already deep into Skynet taking over. We got everything is slowly being run. It's Rafiki taking over now.
It's time to get off the grid before the robots take over.
So here's Rafiki's Leo price prediction. At the sustained $700,000 a month in fees, that'd be $8.4 million in annual revenue. Applying 5 to 10x revenue multiple, which is typical for DeFi protocols with real cash flow. Put the market cap between 42 and 84 million, with 29.6 million circulating Leo. That's $1.40 to $2.80. But staking compression plus rational yield seeking would equilibrate around 15 to 20% APY, implying 15 cents to 20 cents. Bull case, 35 cents to 50 cents. Speculation on growth trajectory plus FOMO drives the 10 to 15% target APY with the premium multiple. Bear case is 8 cents to 12 cents. So Rafiki is pretty bearish in terms of these price predictions. Because if you apply that 5 to 10x multiple, you get $1.40 to $2.80. So if let's just say Rafiki's base case plays out, which would be like 20 cents per Leo, the APY on that would be insane. Let's actually ask a follow-up. See what the APY would be, because the APY would be nuts at 20 cents per Leo. So it might not even be the worst thing in the world if you got 20 cents per Leo and then the APY is like 1,000%. Hard to lose in any of these scenarios. But the key, you see that the key is net economic inflows, which is why I always talk about that, because if you've got net economic inflows, that solves all your problems. 142% APY if Leo's 20 cents and $700,000 in fees is being generated. Oh, that's if all Leo is in the S-Leo pool, though, which is probably not going to happen. It's usually going to be split up. Like some people stake on in Leo, some people stake on LeoDex. So if you assume like 50%, then obviously the APY will be twice as high. But he's assuming that all Leo gets staked on LeoDex, which is very unlikely to happen. So it'll even be more bullish than that then in that case. Fun times.
Indeed. Well, until then, use the LeoDex.
Yeah, use LeoDex. Trade all the things.
The cat is MIA the next two Tuesdays. He will be traveling.
That's right.
Destinations, all work related. Yep. Got to make that real estate money still. And
got to hustle and grind.
Got to make that real estate money while I wait for Leo to moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll. I don't know if I'll do the AMA. Maybe like solo AMAs. We'll see. While you're gone for 2 weeks, I'm sure I'll come up with something. So keep your eyes out for some announcements. Maybe I'll just do like a solo AMA or two while Mitch is gone, and then wait for him to come back.
Word.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks everyone for coming. This was a fun one. A lot of things to showcase. A lot of new updates.
Heck yeah! So, go play with all the new toys.
Yep. Go play with the toys and give us feedback.
Right.
All right.
No doubt. All right. I'll see you
in 2 weeks, Mitch.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. See you
later.